Welcome back. If this is your first time visiting, I'm really happy you're here. My name is Tina Zinck. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. I've been with Stampin Up for 19 years. I love the company and the products, sharing the different ways you can use them and teaching techniques and different cards and projects that you can create yourself at home. So today I am featuring the Plentiful Plants Bundle. This is a super sweet bundle with the plant pots and the little macrame dies that you can use, and it's a fun fold card. So I'm anxious to share this with you so you can make this at home. Let's start stamping. So here's the bundle. This is the stamp set, Plentiful Plants. Super great set. Look at those beautiful fonts and the sentiments, all the plants, and then we have all the coordinating dies here. So I've already gone ahead and cut out the little macrame. I actually cut out quite a few because I knew I was going to be making a lot of cards with this. So I already have this die cut. So I'm going to put that aside. Now let me show you what the card itself is going to look like, or more or less, because I may do a little variation of this, but I love how this turned out. So this is the card fold. So this could either go like this and you could add a little belly band or something, or see, there's how it opens, or you could have it close like that. So isn't that fun? You've got some options on how you want to present this card. So that's the fun fold, and it's really quite simple to make. So I'm using a piece of our cinnamon cider cardstock. This is 8.5 by 11, and I am simply going to score it at 5.5. And then along the 8.5 inch side, I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. And I could slide it over and score it at 6 3/8. Or you can just turn it around and score it at 2 1/8, because that's the width that you want on each side of this cardstock. So what you're going to end up with is your score line at the 5.5 inch mark, and then 2 score lines going all the way down at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. So I'm going to fold this just to make it easy for you to see what I'm going to do next, because what I want to do is cut off the top 2 tabs. So I'm going to cut this tab and this tab. So I'm just going to line them up. Oops, get in there, you. There we go. So I'm just lining up that crease mark with the track of my trimmer, bringing it down and cut, and do the same thing over here. Cut. And then you could either just take the scissors and cut those down, or use your trimmer like I'm going to do. There. So what you're going to end up with is this, okay? So what you want to do is take your bone folder and crease on those folds really well. Okay, so that is the card fold. Now it's time to decorate. Now I'm bringing in a second piece of colored cardstock. This is just jade, and I want to cut out 4 strips that measure 2 by 5 1/4. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this at the 5 1/4 mark. You might hear some rattling behind me. That's my cat Forrest getting into a box of scrap paper. Okay, so spin that around and cut this at 2 and 2. And 2. So I'm going to bring this in and glue my strips to each panel. I'm bringing in a piece of designer series paper, and this coordinates with the stamp set, and this is the Bloomer Your Planted designer series paper. So this is one side. I'm going to use this on the side panels, and then the brick side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to set that aside. And now I need 4 strips that measure 1 3/4 by 5. Now these, I want to make sure that they're going down lengthwise, otherwise the pattern just looks a little bit off. So I'm going to cut this at 5 and then 1 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to glue these panels on. Okay, so I'm going to glue this layer on. That's going to go on the front. Now if you want to, you can certainly add a piece of designer series paper on the top flap as well, but I think I'm just going to leave that. Now I have a piece of basic white that's also cut to measure 4 by 5 1/4, and this is for the inside of the card. Okay, coming together. Okay, so I am bringing in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I have a piece of cardstock that measures 3 by 4, and I'm going to run this through an embossing folder. This is the embossing folder I'm using. It's called Checks and Dots. This is the one that comes with it, so it's nice big dots. I'm really having fun with this, with these embossing folders. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in like so and make my little sandwich. And because it's not a 3D embossing folder, I just need to use my plates. I don't need the gray one that we sometimes use. Okay, so I'm going to run that through. So there's my embossed cardstock. Isn't that fun? Part of that Bloomer Your Planted designer series paper are these 2 sheets. So we've got a wood grain on the back of this one and some foliage. But we also have the plants and we have the pots. So these coordinate with our dies, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so put my plate number 2 down, my clear plate, and let's get the dies for these. And again, I've already done the macrame die earlier, and it cuts really nice. Put my plate on and run it through. There's my leaves all cut. I mean, how fast is that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of glue on the front of this plant and just tuck it right behind the pot. Let's do it this way. There we go. And my macrame die, this is very vanilla. And all I do is I just put a little bit of glue, kind of like on these little intersecting parts. A little bit there, a little bit on the corners. That's all I need. And, oh, and I also want one of these leaves to pop out through the macrame. Okay. And then just line this up. I used to have macrame holders like this. I'm sure most of you did. I don't know whatever happened to mine. I may have to learn how to make these again. I'm thinking that this one might fit through here. Let's see. Yep, sure does. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my card back in. I'm gonna glue my embossed layer to the front. Like so. And then I'm gonna take a couple dimensionals and pop this up. I'm gonna put one there. Okay, I think I'm gonna bring in my little mini dimensionals and tuck one there and one there. How fun that is. Now I'm gonna take my Take Your Pick tool that has the little rounded edge there, and I'm just going to curl my plant over a little bit. And I'm going to take this leaf and curl it in the opposite direction. And this, I like doing this because it just, look, it makes them lift off the page a little bit. Just makes it really fun. I'm going to do this too, just kind of curl it over. And this one I'm going to curl over the top. So you see what I mean? See how that makes it really kind of pop off of the page. So I'm bringing in my my bronze Stampin' Blends marker, and I am going to color in one of the large pearls. Okay, so I'm just taking a glue dot and putting it down there, and my pearl stuck to my finger because I've got glue on it. And then that's gonna hold that down perfectly. So I'm gonna use Just Jade to stamp my sentiment. The strip I'm using for the sentiment measures 3 3/4 across by 1/2 inch. And I am going to stamp thank you. Before I put that on the card, I'm gonna stamp the inside sentiment. And for the inside, I'm going to stamp You Touched My Heart, and I'm going to ink this with the cinnamon cider. Okay, so I'm going to flag the ends of this. I have a couple dimensionals. I don't know if you guys can hear, but my dog, Rosie, is snoring away. She's down to the right of me, and to the left of me my cat Forrest is snoring away. It's quite funny, so I don't know if you can hear them or not. There's the finished card. Isn't that a fun fold, you guys? I mean, literally, that is a fun fold. I couldn't wait to share that with you. I couldn't wait to make another card, and I can't wait to make more using our different stamps and accessories. These are going to make great masculine cards too, all kinds. So give this a try at home. You're really going to enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care and happy stamping.